This time, I'd like to call the January 20th Elizabethton Board of Education meeting to order. And at this time, I'd like to ask that you please stand for a moment of silence to be followed by the pledge to the flag.
Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin, I'd like to say Mr. O'Quinn sends his regrets as he is under the weather like much of our area and will not be here tonight. At this time, it's time to approve the consent agenda and the regular agenda. Can I get a motion to do so?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Second. Any items to discuss or need to rearrange anything on there? All right. Again, the items to approve consent and regular agenda. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. It's now time for citizens to speak, and we did not have anyone who asked to be recognized to speak. So we will move on to special recognition. And before we begin, I'd like to say there is a schedule change. We will not be recognizing the football team. There were some discrepancies in some things and some other arrangements that needed to be made. So we'll do that at a later date. We most certainly want to do that. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Van Huss to recognize our school system Teachers of the Year.
Okay, if Mr. Thompson, if you won't care to come forward and share that information with us.
Good evening. So right now we're currently going to recognize the 21-22 Teachers of the Year. These were voted on last year or selected last year around the same time. It kind of lags a year. We actually just voted for the 22-23 Teachers of the Year, which we'll recognize later on in the summer. But for now, this is our 21-22 representatives. If you're here, please come up when I call your name. And I do know we do have some out with illness as well and other obligations. Tammy Troutman from East Side. She was a building level Teacher of the Year.
Stay.
Barbara Smith from East Side. I don't know if we're supposed to shake hands anymore. I can't remember. West Side, Sarah Penley and Matt Tynes. I'm not sure either one of them were able to make it tonight. Jennifer Landstreet. She was building level Teacher of the Year. She was also selected as a district level Teacher of the Year between, there's 3 different categories, pre-K through 4th grade, 5th through 8th grade, and then 9th through 12. Amanda Ryder from Harold McCormick. She was also a building level Teacher of the Year as well as district level Teacher of the Year in grades 5th through 8. With our district level winners, they also get an additional little gift. From the middle school, Chris Lockhart. And then from the high school was Brandon Trent, and she was building level as well as district level Teacher of the Year. And as we know, these are all great teachers selected by their peers and their administration, and we want to thank you all for all the hard work you do, especially now and moving forward. It's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and Teacher of the Year application is no easy task in itself. It's very difficult, especially moving on to the next level. So thank you all again for all your hard work, and thank you for coming tonight.
And before we move on to reports, if you'd like to exit, if you have no part, you're free to go unless you are still on the agenda to be recognized. So, all right. At this time, it is time for director's update. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you, Mr. Pless. Again, congratulations to all of our Teacher of the Year winners. It's a fantastic group that really epitomizes the level of instruction that our students get, so we're very appreciative of all of their efforts. Also, this is a big night for individuals as you'll be voting on tenure. This is one of the great parts about your role as a school board. Again, just another fantastic group of teachers that have earned the right to be tenured in Elizabethton City Schools, so we're excited about that as well. Also, thanks to Marcia Taylor, you should have two documents in front of you there. One is an amendment to our public-facing plan, our ESSER 3.0 plan, as well as a safe return to in-person instruction. We're required by the federal government to do 6-month updates of these. So I wanted to get those to you so you could take a look at those. We'll discuss those and actually let you vote on those for approval at next month's meeting, but I wanted to give those to you in advance so you'd have a chance to look at those. But special thanks again to Ms. Taylor for her work on that. We're also working on a 5-year capital master plan for the district. Mr. Weems is helping us with that. I hope to have something to send to you as well, maybe by the end of the month. And then what I would like to do is for you to consider us scheduling a workshop to look over and talk about those items and get your input on things we may want to add to that. So very excited about the initial plan that he's put together based on the needs that we have. So I'm looking forward to being able to share that with you to give us a vision for where we would be, 5 to 10 years down the road in the school system. Also, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the state is considering a new funding formula for state education funding. Lots of information out there. Public comment ended earlier this week. The different subcommittees they're meeting, they'll finish up this week and next week, and then we should get a little bit more information on what that plan may look like. At this point, the real key is what's that base funding going to be for each student, and then for those other categories of students, what other multiplier are they going to be given so we can get an idea on what that funding would be. I know the SCORE Foundation just came out with their recommendations, and their recommendation to the state was to invest another $1 billion in public education, and obviously we're for that. It's going to take a substantial amount of money like that to really get us where we need to be. We're anywhere from 44 to 42nd in the country in spending per student from the state on education, so we need to do something about that. We're asking our teachers to do so much, and we need to be able to give them the resources that they need, as well as to keep them in the profession. We certainly don't want them going to other professions or moving other states where they can make more money. We need to put our money where our mouth is to support teachers. So there'll be more information about that, and as we get that, we'll be sharing that with you as well. Of course, next week, as you know, is School Board Appreciation Week. So I'd like to, on behalf of the school system, just thank you for your willingness to serve. It's a thankless job, and the pay's not very good, other than these nice little goodie bags you get. So, but in all seriousness, we thank you very much for your willingness to spend your time and focus on our community and especially our students. So thank you very much for that. So you have, I think, a couple of different bags. One is from Westside Elementary. The other bag is from the high school. And I'm sure there'll be other things as well, since next week is the official week. But again, just thank you very much for all that you do for us. That's all I have.
Okay. It's now time for board member reports, and I think I can speak for everybody that we're honored to serve this system in our community, and we certainly do appreciate the nice things that the schools do and just kind words. So anybody, anything else from a board member, anything that's going on? Okay. All right, it's time for City Council Liaisons report. Mr. Simley.
I do promise it will be short, because I was told it's a short meeting. Our biggest thing we have right now in front of us is our budget. You know, we're all working on budgets, and I do want to remind you, this year, at least, as far as I'm aware, we do not have any bonds that we're paying off for the city this year. I do know next year we're going to have some pretty significant credit debt that we'll be paying down, and we'll have a few bonds that will be relieved of. So I'm saying that to say that maybe next year will be a better year if we're looking at funding and, you know, needing some additional money for whatever it might be. This year, the biggest thing we're looking at, obviously, is Covered Bridge Park, and putting quite a bit of resources, over $1 million into the park this year. So that was one thing. Obviously, we got T.A. Duggar in front of us we're wanting to do. So if we can't do that this year, maybe 23 will be a better year, and we can, you know, we need to work on it a little bit more with the numbers. Probably be a good year to do that. And finally, we'd mentioned, we talked about Boyd Sports. I know we got baseball. It's, you know, it's snow on the ground outside. It's January. We're talking baseball. But we do have baseball coming up very shortly, but we're working with Boyd Sports. Just want to make sure Boyd Sports won't be in the way down there for making any repairs at the ballpark. So, ready to play baseball.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Simley. And Miss Maggie, anything on the student front? All right.
Not been in school that long.
Not been in school enough here at the beginning. Okay, thank you. And by the way, it is a historic meeting. I don't know that I've ever attended or served when there's been one item on the agenda. So, but it is a joy to be a board member and be able to be a part of this. So, first item on the agenda is recognition of the following teachers recommended for tenure: Reed Casey, Katie Duggar, Zach Enzer, Colin McHenry, Cody Metcalf, Barb Robinson, Courtney Shelton, Rachel Wagner, and Angela Wilbur. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I think we had all three. And so, again, the motion is the recognition. Well, it's really not a motion. So, do we need to vote on that? All right, good. I want to make sure. I don't want to mess this up. So, recognition of the following teachers recommended for tenure: Reed Casey, Katie Duggar, Zach Enzer, Colin McHenry, Cody Metcalf, Barb Robinson, Courtney Shelton, Rachel Wagner, Angela Wilbur. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And there are obviously none opposed. And again, if you would,
If you would come forward, yeah, we'd like
come
to
forward. We'd like
get
to
a picture.
Yeah, of those.
Again, congratulations. That's a big accomplishment, and it's recognition of your service and the job that you do for us, and we're very appreciative.
Yes. Yay. Again, congratulations and appreciation on your hard work to get to this accomplishment. It is certainly a big deal, and you can breathe easier from this point till you retire. So, I have nothing else. Anything else there? The next regularly scheduled meeting was, we need to probably adjust that. Mr. Van Huss will be at a national superintendent's conference that doesn't get this close very often, and it will be in Nashville, and that's the entire week that we're scheduled to have that. So I would like to entertain that we move next month's meeting to Monday the 21st, and tried to look at the calendar. I realize that's a holiday. It's Professional Development Day for our teachers, but there's really something pretty much every night during that time of year. So is there an issue with anyone on moving that to 5:30 that day? Okay, we good with that? All right, do we have to vote on that? We don't, do we?
I don't think so.
Yay.
No, sir.
All right, so the next regularly scheduled board meeting will be held Monday, February 21st, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. here in the Mac Pierce boardroom. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
And all those say aye. Aye. Have a good evening. Not real sure.